enjoyable game for us to watch? What's the sort of first top of mind things that come to mind from reacting to that game?
I thought you saw playoff basketball, finals basketball, right? I thought you saw two really good teams kind of figuring it out, throwing a lot of punches at each other, basketball-wise, trying to figure out where the strengths and where the weaknesses were of both teams. I thought you saw some outstanding efforts. I'll start on our guys. Obviously, we've been trying to figure out, our offense still, and it's a growth. And I thought, Zion has played. He's just been so committed about what we're trying to do. He's been all in. It was great to kind of see him kind of have a little bit of success in that. See, I don't think he plays like Wagstaff. I don't think he plays like anybody else. He's probably more like Draymond for us, because the 21, 12, and 9, he's one off a triple-double. That's the kind of things he can do. Our offense is much more efficient at times with Isaac Humphries out there. He's been outstanding this year, whether it's with Z or Bryce. We had some very chunky minutes because of foul issues, and we tried to manufacture and try to do a few things, and I thought that was kind of even both ways. Jesse Edwards had his way. Both centers played about 20 minutes. Both centers ended up with 20 points, because the pick and roll is such a dynamic piece of the game today. So I just thought there was a lot of really good things for us as a young group on the road in this sort of environment. I'm extremely excited about where we're at today and where we're going to be.
Zion's scoring output has not been high to start the season. He's obviously done a lot of other things very well, but what does it do to this team when you know that you don't have to rely on Bryce or even others, and Zion can put up that sort of scoring production for your team?
Yeah, well, he's a different kind of player because he has so many offensive talents and defense, right? He's a very talented player. He's unselfish. He's all about the team. On both sides of the ball. So him to be able to get the ball in his hands and make a little bit in those half rolls. And if people are going to try to put two on Bryce, and, that's going to allow him to operate like that at times. And then how we get connected behind. I thought we played a little sped up in the first half and from a lot of different players. And I think that's part of a big game and a road game. And we were anxious. And, being off all week is an interesting thing, too, whether you're trying to get your game rhythm or not. But, I thought we settled in the second half. I thought we went back and forth. And, it comes down to one offensive rebound that gets tipped out to Tyson in the corner. And, he gets a good look at it. But we were right there. I loved a lot of the things we did. But, probably the difference, obviously, 17 offensive rebounds for them, 17 turnovers for us. That's not a winning formula on the road. But I will say that they got 16 three-point attempts in the first half. We got it down to 8. We contested. We didn't foul. We just needed to close one more possession.
Where are you in the process of figuring out the sort of big man rotation and figuring out who to trust at what times with fouls and things like that? Where are you in the process?
Yeah, well, it's always kind of an interesting one. And I wanted to trust Ice, and, Jesse's such a big factor rolling and putting pressure on the rim that I just didn't want to give him a cheap one because I know that we obviously do operate more efficiently with Ice and or Nick out there. They're they're kind of different, but they can both handle and put the pressure on the rim. And so we're just trying to figure it out the way the game's being called, as in how I can keep them in the game and sort of mix in and match in those lineups. And that's kind of what it is, to find that offensive rhythm, to keep a defensive rhythm. Like, we basically played even in the third. I don't know exactly what the score was. And then, we basically got on top for the fourth. We played the majority of the fourth quarter on top, and then we just needed one more possession.
Can you take us into that little back and forth with Chris in the first half?
I love him. Like, he's competitive. He's a great player, elite at what he does. I thought he threw DJ on the possession before. He thought he got hit in the neck, but it's just him being competitive. There's really nothing there to me other than I love who he is. I love what he does. He's great in this league. He's been great for a long time. He's a professional sniper, man. I mean, you've got to enjoy these type of players in this league. I think there's great players. There's great teams. This was a really good one today. we'll get better from it and we'll move on.
Mike, what did you think about the DJ over and back late in the game?
Well, that's probably a tough possession, right? But, Chris makes a play, and he gets his hand on it. And in the moment, I couldn't see who kind of tipped it, That's why I was, trying to be like, hey, can we challenge it or whatever? And obviously you can't. There wasn't a call on it other than the over and back. We try to get DJ to the top of the floor a lot more today. We try to get him some different looks. That was part of the offensive plan to get him up there. And Chris, being a competitor, makes a play where he flicks it. That's what it is.
So what was the explanation then from the referees as to why?
They didn't make a call other than an over and back, so there's nothing I could challenge. And that's the right call. It's the right call. It just got flicked, and it did look like, when I'm talking to my video guy, that it did maybe come off of DJ's hands, but it doesn't matter. That call is the call, so there's really nothing. I can't challenge anything on that one, and Chris makes a good play. Just unfortunate for us in that moment at that time that happened, and we'd like to be able to get a shot on that possession.
Does the outcome of this game and the way you guys operated this game give you more confidence in the potential playoff credentials of this group that you currently have?
I'm extremely excited. I love what we did. I thought Bryce Cotton got 17 shots. He probably got how many free throws today, guys? He got 17 shots, and he got 5 of 5. It's a pretty low number for Bryce Cotton when somebody's all over him. But what I thought, what I was really proud of the group on the road in a hostile environment, and this is the first time, we've only had 2 road games, and they've been at Cairns, which is a great place to play too, but this had a little more juice to it. So us being able to handle the physicality of a team being at home and a playoff team and all their players and everything they do, and for us to handle physicality and fight through that and keep playing and have it down to a 1-possession game is nothing but a huge positive for us and where we want to be. We're trying to rebuild the whole brand of the Adelaide 36ers. So we lost one today. We'll see them again.
Did the late arrival have any impact on your pre-game preparations?
No idea.
Mike, you mentioned earlier in the week you'll see other guys.
Hey, buddy. What's up? I haven't seen you in a while.
No, definitely. It's great to see you. You mentioned earlier in the week how you guys will fare. You'll see how you guys fare when the pressure's at its highest in a hostile environment like this. How proud are you of this group's ability to take the bull by the horns and handle that at early in the season?
Yeah, well, I thought, we handled it early. That was a hell of a first quarter to come out and handle it and help. This team's been scoring 100 and something. We held them to 14 in the quarter. That's a hell of an effort to kind of take their first punch and the energy and kind of fight through that. I thought that the second quarter was back and forth. I thought everybody just went toe-to-toe. And in the fourth, we pretty much had, of the 10 minutes, we probably had control of it for about 9:30. I think it's a huge, huge positive. It's nothing. I was super positive with the guys, as much as you can be with a loss. I love where the group is. I love our competitive spirit. I love what they look like in the locker room. I know that this kind of thing, when we lost to Sydney, helped us get better. This will help us get better.
You look pretty ecstatic heading into three-quarter time. What was it about the way the game was sort of trending, or that third quarter trended, that you felt like the game was sort of on the right path?
I don't really remember at this point. I got to be honest with you. I knew that we were back and forth, and it was winning time going into the fourth quarters, but I don't really remember the exact play.
Mike, I want to ask you about the very last play. You had about 2.5 seconds left. You actually had a pretty good play. Got a
Yeah.
good confidence just in full hoop. What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, they had a foul to give, so we had to go really quick, and depending on how we wanted, we knew they weren't going to switch. We knew they had a foul to give, so either Bryce was going to have to catch it and turn, and if they wanted the foul, it was going to be hopefully a foul, and we could shoot 3 free throws, and then the touch, and because 2 guys were kind of on Bryce, so he flips it back. It's a good, to be honest with you, DJ's got range. It's a good look. It's an open look. It just falls just a little short, You'd like to have the possession before that back on the offensive rebound. That's where it was. It's always going to come down to the rebounds and the closing. There's 17 offensive rebounds. If they have 16, we win the game.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much.
Yep.